A few moments ago, Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon.
I often draw strength from meeting ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Shortly before the announcement of Queen Elizabeth's death on September 8th, a rainbow appeared opposite Buckingham Palace, where crowds gathered as the news rippled across the globe and the royals rushed to the Queen's bedside at Balmoral Castle.
And then at 5:05, a flurry of flashbulbs as senior members of the royal family swept past us. I could see grim faces.
A source close to the royal family told ET Charles, Camilla, and Princess Anne all were able to see the Queen before she died. Her grandsons were not, and Harry went solo.
The family wanted Prince Harry to be there, even though he was unable to get to Balmoral in time to see his grandmother. So I think that is deeply significant that Meghan was not invited to join the family by the Queen's bedside.
Charles released this statement, calling the Queen's death, quote, a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family. This is the last photo of the 96-year-old monarch. She was smiling and alert, but using a cane. You can also see some bruising on her hands. She hadn't been seen in public for 47 days. A national 10-day mourning period followed that saw lines of people 10 miles long to catch a glimpse of her coffin. Even David Beckham waited for hours to pay his respects, starting at 2 a.m., bringing donuts to share with those around him. An eyewitness told ET he was a lovely man and a true gentleman. Another said he made the long journey a little bit more special.
The amount of times that I was able to meet her through my career, and I was very lucky.
Then came the massive state funeral, which was broadcast across the globe.
Both brothers united again in grief. William and Harry walking in lockstep behind another coffin. Harry remaining stoic amid the kind of public mourning that triggered him as a child.
You get in your head about it, and then you're just like, everybody's looking at me.
Inside Westminster Hall, Harry was seen wiping his eyes, Meghan by his side, clutching his hand, while William and Kate followed royal protocol, walking with space between them. Now the question, is Meghan's prominent appearance evidence of a receding royal rift?
King Charles is doing everything he can to make sure that the Sussexes have been a part of this historic and important moment.
Of the many poignant scenes, one of the most heartbreaking was seeing the Queen's great-grandchildren in mourning.
That's 7-year-old Princess Charlotte breaking down. She and Prince George arrived with Mom Kate to Westminster Abbey, and inside, the 9-year-old prince in a navy suit solemnly sang alongside Dad William and seemed to get emotional. Charlotte's only jewelry, a small diamond brooch in the shape of a horseshoe, a tribute to her late Gan, who loved horses. 4-year-old Prince Louis did not attend.
Prince George is 9, and he now is second in line for the throne. So certainly he is being prepared.
The children rode in a car chatting with Grandma Camilla. The car behind them, completely silent, with Meghan and Countess Sophie stoically staring out different windows. But when Meghan got emotional, watch little Charlotte briefly turn towards her. The Duchess responded with a slight smile, unlike the House of Windsor's feuding brothers.
What I didn't see was them together, other than in the procession.
William was able to salute in uniform, Harry was not. But what was interesting? The royal seating plan.
It almost seemed like every effort was being made so that there wasn't an awkward moment where they had to sit side by side at one point. Charlotte was put in between them.
A few special nods to Her Majesty. Meghan wore the pearl earrings the Queen gave her. Her dress, a black version of the Stella McCartney cape dress she wore to the Queen's 92nd birthday. Kate had on the Queen's necklace, which Diana previously wore. Elizabeth was the longest-running monarch in British history, mother to 4 children and grandmother to 8. She performed her public duties well into her 90s.
I still view her more as the Queen than my grandmother. You have this huge amount of respect for your boss. And I always view her as my boss.
Even in the unlikeliest of places, hope can still be found.
For over 7 decades, the Queen was a stabilizing force in this country. Now the country looks to King Charles III to keep calm and carry on.
Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, a promise with destiny kept. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today. We owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother.
God save the King.
Well, at 73, Charles is the oldest monarch that this country has had, and it's going to be very hard to fill the Queen's shoes. He is, I think, more popular now than he ever has been. People change, opinions change, and times change. And I think actually Charles does have the potential to be a very popular king with Queen Consort Camilla by his side.
We will succeed. Better days will return. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
To my darling Mama, thank you. Thank you for your love